Here we are, new series, lots more fun. We've got big robots.
Your Majesty.
You're what now?
I've never had to work opposite a robot before, so that was entertaining.
Polish.
I just remember that room as absolute chaos.
It's bigger than I expected. Wow.
You are Miss Belinda Chandler.
How do you know my name?
Name confirmed. Your Majesty.
You're what now?
You will come with us.
She's this completely ordinary woman who finds her life being completely turned upside down. Normally their life is turned upside down when the Doctor arrives. Belinda gets ahead of the game, frankly. Her life gets turned upside down when robots land in her back garden and take her off into outer space, and the Doctor is left chasing her instead of the other way round. So it's a bit of a different dynamic, but nonetheless, of course they end up as best friends and fighting to save the day.
Monday Flynn. I'm an ordained Anglican Marine.
Very exciting to get to work with Verada again. She's an incredible actor. It's a very nice dynamic, and she challenges him and pushes him, and that all leads to like a really beautiful friendship.
You're actually called the Doctor?
Yeah.
All right, then. I'm called the Nurse.
Doctor and nurse. Good team.
Belinda's a version of me, so it's going back to the basics of thinking about what she wants from her life. So I think what grounds me is thinking about how she sees herself in the world, and that kind of helps align how she navigates all of these different things that are thrown at her.
Doctor! I told you, get me home!
I am.
You are not!
No! This might be the long way round, Miss Belinda Chandler, but hold on tight, because this is going to be quite a ride.
Three, two, one!
Those actors that come in and don the costumes that they don are incredible. They can't eat whenever they want, they can't just go to the toilet whenever they want. They're committed to their craft. It can never be me, but I've got a lot of admiration for them.
So with the performers, all your joints, your shoulder, your elbow are all in the wrong place. So you need really good performers who can adapt to that kind of thing.
Action!
And also we had a very strict kind of measurement. So basically, if you got someone who was just an inch too tall, and their arms were just a bit longer, they couldn't move it. So we had to find performers who were all exactly the same size or as close as possible. So each robot needs like a whole support team. You know, they come with an entourage. You basically have dressers, people who can get everyone into the suits, out the suits. In between takes, you want to get everyone out or as stripped down as possible. Everything was made so we could quick release the arms and get those off, because that was a difficult pose to be in.
Just keep coming forwards. Yeah, keep coming forwards.
It's even better than what I imagined.
There's a scale to them that sometimes you don't get with something that's more of a costume. They could lift their arms up, and it was enormous. That arm span was huge, and they could kind of grab things. It was great.
Before we all run away, guys, there's 4 people who've worked extremely hard. I think they deserve a big round of applause. Our robots, Stephen, Lucas, Robert, and Charles, guys.
Polish.
That's 2. Spin around. Back 2 feet.
All right, little fella.
Off it scoots.
Polish.
Oh, he's so cute. I love Scoot.
The design is based on 1950s era hardware and cars. The challenging thing about this little guy is giving him motion that you've not seen before on generic little robots. So we gave him what you call Omni wheels. And these little wheels here, if you turn them in such a way that they're opposing each other, he will move laterally as well. So this guy goes forwards, backwards, pivots, and moves sideways in any direction as well. And by combining all those motions, this guy gets to dance around on set. I felt it would be more interesting to be able to give it a little bit more life, so he could sort of like peek out from behind something and then duck back. If I open this guy up and turn him around, you get to see what's in there. He's a very, very high-tech little robot for a little 50s era throwback. And the arms were then rod puppeteered by the puppeteers on set. So two guys puppeteered him. The remote control was done by them both as well. One guy was doing the motion, and the other guy was doing the eye. Do it so he can look left, right, up and down. Put a little switch on there, so every time he hit the switch, his eye would switch off and it looks like he's blinking. This gives him just a little bit of extra character.
Polish, polish.
And I thought I wanted something daft scooting about the place, literally, and then actually the more I wrote that into the script, the more he ends up saving the day. Actually, I really just fell in love with Scoop and thought, oh, actually, if he stays at her side, he can just be there at the right moment and save the day.
Polish, polish.
The time is now!
Oh my god!
Eliminate! Destroy!
The rumour chamber was incredible. I just remember it as like everyone just running and screaming.
Battles take time, battles are slow, because not even one line, half a line, robot explodes or robot takes out 4 soldiers. That's involved, that takes a lot of time. Derek Lee was our stunt coordinator who does the whole show, and he had his team abseiling from those 2 holes up there.
Quite exciting today. Some abseiling going on. Got 4 people coming out, or 3 people making it to the floor, and 1 dying halfway down. He's on a different device, so he can just let go and it stops him. They're all specialists. They're using military-grade equipment. Ross is the leader of the team. He's ex-military. We made sure that he was happy with the rigging. We came here prior to that recce and we've rehearsed it. Because there's 2 people coming down after each other, sometimes they can get snagged, the ropes can get caught up. But so far, each take has been spot on, so happy.
Destroy!
We got a lot of work out of them because obviously they abseiled in, then used them taking a shot, taking a hit, rolling and jumping and exploding and whatever. So we got loads out of them.
Belinda, beloved, behold!
I loved the whole aesthetic of Miss Belinda Chandra 1 because it was just so sci-fi, but like 1950s sci-fi, and it was this great big machine with a little man like attached into it.
Are you all right?
I am supreme.
So I've been to Millennium and had fittings, sort of tried little bits on, but they were still sort of working out little bits, and so today will be the first time where I've properly had it on. Still feels a bit surreal I'm doing it. I don't think it'll settle in properly until I'm on set. More comfortable than I thought it would be.
It was an interesting thing because we're trying to create a character that is kind of part of a set. So it's a real combination. Ourselves and the art department really had to kind of figure out where the art department ends, where our creature build takes over, and how to blend the 2 things together.
We wanted it to be epic and have lots of scale and feel as huge and regal as it should do. So we had this idea that we would repurpose the robo chamber as the AI generator's chamber. And we thought it would be really fun to place the AI generator head underneath the centerpiece of the set. So it felt like the whole set was a crown coming out of the top of his head. It's almost like his throne chamber or his throne room is an extension of him.
He's got to feel like he's built into the set. So we had to reflect some of the textures and the detailing. And once he was in there, he literally was a part of the set. You know, he came in, we bolted him in, screwed him in, added tubes in, and he just blended into it.
It's not AI. It's Al.
Alan Bud?
Belinda.
Oh my god.
I was just walking on set and I saw this sort of metallic thing and assumed it was like going to be one of the robots or something, and then he opened his mouth and I was like, it's Johnny. It's him. Oh my god. And in the whole setup as well, he's absolutely terrifying.
Action!
But then also really funny that he sounds exactly the same as a person.
Thank you. I forget that I have 2 eyes. When
No, you can see.
I feel like a new man.
Ta-da! I've always wanted to do this, always. A cartoon in the past.
What? Me and V were so excited when we first got the script because they were just so rich.
I love that it's in the 1950s.
We're in my Abby.
I also love the constant movement through different realities.
When the script came in, it's written by Russell T Davies, I was just blown away by his imagination and creativity.
Oh, no.
I'm very interested in cartoon history. I love delving deep into it for this. So yeah, this was always going to happen.
I am the last thing you see before you fall into the abyss.
Mr. Ringading is an old 1936 cartoon, but kind of Fleischer cartoon, that school of animation. We had lots of shorts, which were shown in cinemas for many, many years afterwards. I can remember short cartoons being shown in cinemas in the 1970s.
Don't make me laugh!
They are quite intimidating. There's something a little bit off in them. There's something a little bit scary in them, and Mr. Ringading had that. This like big smile, and his big bright eyes, but there was something but even in cartoon form. So I thought it was something sinister about just how animated the expression of Mr. Ringading was. But he's inanimate. There was something really disconcerting about that.
And action.
Cartoon. With a happy hello to you too.
How's it done? That technology is way beyond anything in 1952. They didn't have holograms.
He is not a hologram.
It was a very heavy design process getting Mr. Ringading ready, which is great. It's exactly what an animation house would go through if they were designing a new character. That's what was exciting about it. And it was like, should he be more pig-like? You alter the nose. Should he have hair? Is he a pig? Is he a human? Is he? You look at a lot of those Fleischer cartoons from the 1930s, kind of 1930s to 1940s, and there's a lot of characters you look at them going, are they human? Are they human? Was that a cow? So there's that lovely world of animation where you're just not quite sure what something is. And then we decided to make him a sort of pale blue on top of it, because that doesn't fit anything. That's not human, but that's not a pig, but that's not a grasshopper. So they've all got that oddness to them, that's slightly disconcerting. So he was a happy little character until the God of Light comes along in the right combination of circumstances and is reborn into this world, as we've seen happen before with this pantheon of gods. And Mr. Ringading becomes Lux, the God of Light, and an evil presence in the world. So much fun.
Whatever you do, don't make me laugh!
We're on Earth. We bounced all the way back to 1952.
It's 1952 out there.
It's set in 1950s Miami. It was rich and exciting, and we knew that we would get cool costumes.
I mean, I love the hair and makeup. The wig is a pain to get into every day.
Oh my God.
It's also just not an era that I thought I would get to play with. It's super exciting. It's unlike anything I would ever do with my hair and makeup. So yeah, it's always fun.
We're in Miami.
At 4 a.m. We got dressed up for no one to see.
It's a great chance to dress the Doctor and Companion up. We've been having, I think, a great response to like when the Doctor and Ruby went to the 1960s, they wore those clothes. So now for them to go to the 50s, and I love doing it. I think it's something we'll always do.
So the yellow we came up with, I actually looked at West Side Story, and there's that lovely yellow dress in West Side Story, and I just thought I just want to do something like that. And she just looks amazing in yellow. And the two colours together, I mean, obviously I've used blue, and you know, he wears quite a lot of blue actually. And with him, I looked at 50s American kind of singers, and I wanted hers to sort of move well as one. That's why she has a lot of underskirts, you know, that's quite frou-frou-y. But yeah, it was fun.
They couldn't decide on what wig I should wear, so there was a smaller, like a pixie kind of cut that had like little curls, and I think there might have been one that was even bigger, even bigger than this. It was just to test out different hairstyles, and also because there's a lot of running that Belinda has in this episode, they wanted hair that had a bit of movement that could kind of tell a story. And this is the one that they settled for, and I love it. Linus is so lovely. It's always nice when you read a character on the page and then you kind of see someone bring it to life. It's so touching. It's such a beautiful love story in there that's so cute, and Linus does it beautifully.
And don't tell me she's not really there. Because if that thing is real, then so is she.
So come and enter the projection room. This is where Reginald Pye spends his whole life, it seems. He hardly even goes home in this story anyway. As you can see, there's 2 projectors because in those days we didn't have digital. It was actually film stock running through there, and the film reels were only 18 minutes long. So every 18 minutes you have to switch over, time it to the next projector. And it was quite a thing to learn about how they did all of that.
Whenever you can have the opportunity to ground things in truth and reality, you want to. And so the projectionist is one opportunity for us to be able to do that. It's like threading a sewing machine. It's complicated, and that there are lots of little parts to it, and projectionists are very quick because they've done it so many times. So we had to sort of make it look as though this was the 500,000th time that he had done it.
This is where you would rewind, you'd put your empty reel there, and literally by hand.
Wow.
And you'd end up looking like Popeye because one arm always does all the work. So we can take this over and show you how this...
Well, as an actor, I always love to feel like I understand the world that I'm in. When you've got something as technical like that, if you can even get a sense of what that individual had to go through to be that good at it, it gives you a feeling of authenticity and some context. And also it just fills out your imagination of what the world was like. And, you know, there was a danger involved in it, and these fire guards, and there was a sense of, oh, there's more to it than I originally thought. So it was very valuable.
If I set lights on a foot of film here, you wouldn't be able to stand there. It's the intense orange heat.
I see. And then I just noticed that Alex's hands had this sort of grey, you know, grime on them, and I asked him about that, and that's actually from using the film and the cement that they would have used to splice it together, so it'd be a little character detail. But like you've got some dark on your hands here.
Well, I've been oiling, it's the oil, it's the oil of the machine, so yeah.
He would be like that, would he?
Yeah.
Let me show that to makeup. Make a picture of your hands.
I'll grab your hand.
Doctor, what's he doing?
I think we're being animated.
Gosh,
We actually got turned into cartoons. That was really fun.
I'm all flat, and this waistline is impossible.
We gotta get out of here.
I personally watched cartoons because the way cartoons move and interact is slightly more heightened to how humans do, so that we got an idea of like body language and gestures to play with. Because they obviously have to film us actually act it to animate us, which I'm so excited to see.
Oh my gosh, look at you.
Goodness gracious, look at you.
It was really, really useful to have them performing like to each other on the day, and even though, you know, we're not necessarily completely translating their actions across because we're trying to get that, you know, kind of slightly more stiff Hanna-Barbera style in the animation, their vocal performances were great to draw off of, and, you know, kind of the expressions, and it's really coming across in how they're speaking to each other.
We gotta get out of here!
Yeah, this is quite traditional. It's drawn on a screen, but it's drawn basically in the same way as, you know, the old style pen and paper. So one drawing every frame. A couple of months of work on it, going through kind of every stage of planning and execution, and yet it's its own different style to the rest of the show, so it's its own little animated moment.
But what do we do, Doc?
I don't know. I've got a two-dimensional brain.
Yeah, when you're doing an episode with cartoons, you're going to do a bit where the Doctor and Belinda become cartoons. I kind of wanted all animation styles in it, so it was a chance to get that style animation in, that they fit so perfectly. I want to do spin-off adventures of those two in that cartoon form, because I think they just look lovely.
And I'm scared in case that means something really bad has happened in 2025.
I'm scared too.
If we break the frame and get faster, huh? And we get fast enough!
I love breaking the fourth wall and going into the living rooms of these Whovians who are massive fans of the show, and then getting to interact with them, which I don't think has ever been seen before.
Oh my God, it happened.
Doctor, is that you?
It's one of those stories that's all about images, it's all about pictures. It's my love of cartoons, so I felt like a fanboy writing it. So once that all starts to feed in, you think of the other things I'm fanboying about. Therefore, once you think, shall he go into a room full of Doctor Who fans, then it's kind of irresistible.
are you?
We're your biggest fans! Oh my god, you're real!
I mean,
Yeah, we're all fan. I'm a
yeah.
massive fan. I watched
Huge
this since
fan.
I was a kid growing up, so yeah, I'm a big fan.
It's been a long time coming. We've known about this scene for quite a while, and sort of the excitement of it. We've been talking a lot, haven't we? Like going over our lines. It's been brilliant. It's been really, really fun.
And everyone's been so lovely with such high energy, so it's been really fun to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh my god!
We're still here.
There's so many jokes in there as well.
I knew this would happen because it was leaked online.
Little sentences, you know, is brilliant. It's so well done.
But what does he not do?
Well, we don't know. Tell us.
No, we can't.
Oh, God, you're so annoying. Lots of people say that.
It's one of those risky fanish moments. Do you think Doctor Who is a programme with fans? It's 62 years old now. It has fans. We all know the fan culture. You can't deny they're out there. And I'm one of them. I'm one of those fans. So it's just an irresistible moment, really.
Now go and save the world, Doctor.
I wish that there was something that
We love you so much.
Look.
I really wanted a great big outer space aliens episode.
Nice practical spacesuit. I love it. It's been very, very well made.
I was really excited to read the script because I felt like it made sense to be a death character. For the monster to chase after them and the whispering, what did it say? The sound it made, yeah. I love doing this kind of thing. I love stunts. The scarier, the higher, whatever. Give it all to me.
Skydiving, spacesuits, falling, screaming, marvellous.
$400,000 years ago, what was the planet called?
It was called Midnight.
I've been here before.
It wasn't intended to be a sequel to begin with. I worked on this a lot with Sharma Wolford was a brilliant writer. Ncuti had always wanted an episode with the Orisha gods from Nigeria. We couldn't quite get the pantheon of gods to work somehow, partly because the Orishas are a genuine religion, were properly respected, and it was hard to be truly respectful towards them and make them into Doctor Who villains at the same time. It could never quite work. I haven't given up on that idea. So we kind of pushed that as far as we could until we simply needed to substitute an enemy of our own. But we arrived at an alien planet, we arrived at a place where scary things were happening, and I knew there was like going to be a monster in the well. So while Sharma and I were working on the Orishas and trying to get a mystical planet and a great script that just didn't quite work, this idea was building in my head at the same time of sort of saying something that's hidden behind you. And I've always thought whatever that thing is living on the planet Midnight, it's immortal and vastly intelligent and vastly childish at the same time.
Mrs. Silvestri, I'm trying to understand. You've captured my speech. What for? What do you need?
So the same things were cropping up. Children's games, hiding, never quite seeing what it looks like. So that all just kind of, in the end, just kind of demanded. It said, actually, don't try to pretend this is something else. This is the same planet.
Whoa! It's creepy. I think it was one of the first scripts where there was a recommended soundtrack to listen to while you were reading it.
What did you see?
I didn't. I loved the tension because it's not spanning like lots of different sets or anything. Most of the episode stays in like a central hall. To have like nothing, you can't see the bad guy. It was really interesting to act scared opposite nothing, really. And that being actually what was so scary about it.
Get back! Get back! What happened?
She threw her across the room.
Russell was making such a point of being so beautifully, vaguely descriptive about the monster that I was like, that actually helps.
Don't you see?
What do you mean?
I used that. I got into the headspace of just allowing it to be unknown. Normally, I really like to see like the previs or a drawing. Or for some reason, it just really helped to have no vision or idea of what it could be.
Behind me. No one knows what it is, but it can't be seen and it can't be stopped. Now please, help me.
And jump! What do you mean jump?
Yes, great big opening adventure, action-packed starter to an episode. I just wanted to throw it into action. It's like, especially because it's an episode that once it reaches the central hall, stay still. It's actually a scary episode set around one space. And so I just thought the one chance for action and adventure was the beginning.
I loved the skydiving stuff. Absolutely loved it. I love getting on wires. Love doing things with speed and adrenaline. I just love it. Our amazing stunt coordinator, Del Boy, Derek Lee. Whenever I see his face, I get happy because I know that I'm going to be put in a harness.
3, 2, 1, drop! And let's break. Thank you. Cut there.
I think because the emotional journey is pretty simple for me, it's like,
And rest. Cut. Thank you.
It's just really straightforward and really fun, and I wish I'd had more of a chance to do it.
It was just time to put Ncuti and Merida in those Marvel-type spacesuits. I wanted that look to it of where all their heroes and all their soldiers walk around in stuff that really works, that really makes them look ready for action. I just wanted that a much more modern feel to it than we've ever done before.
It's so empowering. It feels so powerful to put a suit on, and that's why it kind of takes me straight out of Belinda and into another character. It feels like an assassin. I think the first time Ncuti and I put our suits on, we didn't know how to behave. We were just in the TARDIS, like, whooping and cheering and all sorts. It's so beautifully made. It is very difficult to pee, and, you know.
This is made out of, it's a material that's used in wetsuits. I love it so much. After lunch, I don't love it so much because it's so tight and the belt is so tight, but in the morning when you zip it up, it feels great. The helmet, I don't love so much. You struggle to breathe or hear anyone, but they look cool on camera, so that's all that matters.
Those masks, they looked amazing, but it was very difficult for the cast to work with. And as soon as they put the masks down, they would start misting up. They would be putting the masks down at different times because you had costume doing it and checking everything. By the time the last ones got their masks down, the trooper one was all misted up. It was like, Chris Thomas, the first AD, described it as whack-a-mole. Just getting them all with no mist and able to shoot was actually quite tricky.
Troopers! Advance.
My name is Ali Benny, and I just want to go home.
Casting Rose, my God, that was simple. Actually, Phil and I had met Rose before, where she'd said she'd love to be in Doctor Who. People always say that, and you don't always believe it. And this turned out to be true. And I tell you what, though, I tell you the absolute truth about Rose. I absolutely thought she was wonderful. So I was so happy to cast her. And let me say, I had no idea what a brilliant actor she is.
I have a daughter on one pastime, and she's with her granddad, and she's 2 years old, and I just want to see her. I absolutely love it. This actually was my bucket list that I really, really want to work on, and it's actually coming true. It's been fantastic. I've never been on a set where I'm just constantly smiling all the time, but my character's not smiling all the time, so I'm like, oh, calm down, Rose. You need to go to work. I shot her, right? I did it, but she was gonna kill me.
Are you hurt? I'm sorry, I don't know how to sign, but your arm.
She is so, so sweet. She's got such a lively energy, and she's got such a great sense of humor. As amazing as the set is, when you have to be in that same place, you start to get a bit of like cabin fever.
Can I ask, you've been on your own for a long time?
15 days.
What a difficult part that is, to sit there and be scared and yet be terrifying in yourself as well, and make the whole drama revolve around you just sitting on a box in the middle of an empty room. My God, she's brilliant. I think it's an absolutely first-class performance.
15-foot radius round Alice Bentley at all times.
Any sign of trouble, shoot to kill.
I was very excited to read the script because I felt like, that makes sense for it to be a deaf character, because deaf people, we rely on having a lot of people in front of us, so if anyone comes behind us, we struggle to be able to communicate with them. Don't turn your back on me. Please don't turn your back on me. But it's not like a big story about her being dead. But her death is a part of this story.
Maybe that's how you survived. You can't hear it.
What did it say?
It knows my name.
I just really hope she gets to go home and see her daughter. Because that's all she wanted the whole time. She wanted that. And I think she would do anything to make sure that monster's not going to go behind her ever again.
That looks clear.
I am sorry. I'm sorry. But we are not going anywhere. It's here.
So at the end, when Chai realizes that there is a way, she takes the monster from V and runs to the well and sacrifices herself, thinking she saved the day.
No!
However,
Yeah, so it's really sad to read that last page and realise that it was everybody's worst fear, which is that the monster leaving the planet and going out into the galaxy.
What? Nothing.
Who knows? We might come across it again. I actually don't know. Let me know if you know.
What is it?
This is the Shriek!
It's a whole new side of Ruby that I think we've not seen before.
So I wanted to bring her back, slightly older, slightly wiser, slightly different, and then also throw her into the middle of this horrific story.
How we do, boss?
And they all turn to Conrad.
The twist was shocking.
I haven't played a villain very often. That felt fun and different because we were always looking to try different things.
I think Conrad really pries on her vulnerability and then he just breaks her heart.
I find it immensely satisfying that his lies come back to bite him.
The only monsters out here are UNIT. Lying to the public. Look! They're stooges and actors and special effects paid for using taxpayers' money to keep us scared to hide their real agenda.
I'm gutted I didn't write this script because I would have loved to have done this one. This was the story we always had planned. What I wanted to bring in as a force within the show is that internet villainy.
Every one of them is spying on you and lying about it. So let's turn the tables.
It's my job as a producer to say, what forms does evil take? What forms does monstrous forces in society take now? Just as many years ago, in 1963, Terry Nation sat there, and when he invented the Daleks, he thought of the Nazis. Came out of his wartime experiences, came out of that history, and he put that into the form of a metal robot. This is me sitting here now thinking, what forces are at work now, particularly in the West, particularly affecting young viewers, and actually it was that toxic online voice of hatred that I thought we have to say something about this, and so I reached out to Pete McTighe to come and deliver an episode about that.
I love the Doctor, obviously. I love Shooty's Doctor, but it's actually quite liberating and quite exciting when the Doctor's not around, because instantly the stakes are raised, instantly things are more dangerous, and Ruby and the supporting characters are in more peril if he's not there to kind of swoop in and save the day. The trick with Conrad is you have to hide who he is for kind of half the episode, and it was fantastic to have someone like Jonah playing that role, who is just one of the most exciting leading men in the country right now. He just played perfectly that romance story, and then when you see that turn in the scene with him in the village, it's so shocking, it's so arresting.
I was sent the script and they said, we'd love you to come and play Conrad and he's a villain. And they didn't really tell me much else. And so I started reading it, and it's such a beautiful love story. And I thought that I was given the wrong script, or I'd been told to read the wrong character or something. So the big twist that we have in the middle, I experienced that as a reader and as an audience member would, which is really nice.
Hello, folks. It's an honour to be here. We love this show. Honestly, you will have a good time. This show is made with love by a team that loves it. So, I'll now hand over to Mr. Pete McTighe.
The shrieks sit up. Everyone recoils.
Don't you!
And then the first shriek pulls at its own neck, peeling off its face, and its head comes off like a Scooby-Doo villain. Except underneath is Sparky.
Ah, got ya!
You idiots. How we do, boss?
And they all turn to Conrad, suddenly in charge, triumphant.
Nailed it.
I've never been at a read-through like that. There were people in that read-through who didn't know the plot twist. There were literally gasps around that table.
Conrad, what's he talking about? What the hell is going on?
Conrad's unbuttoned his shirt. Underneath is a t-shirt with a think tank logo.
We a think tank? Exposing the lies perpetuated by a unit. By you. And we're live streaming, so don't get trigger happy.
Jonah played it so well. He lulled us all in to his web of lies.
This isn't funny.
God, it's a relief. I've had to listen to your stories for weeks now.
No.
Your insecurity, and your vanity.
When Jonah said those words as Conrad, I was like, and it was just really heartbreaking.
Listening to your tedious piano solos, getting smothered in lip gloss, it has been a chore getting to know you.
Oh, God.
But now it's all worth it. Yeah, it was kind of raucous, and I thought that was what every Doctor Who read-through is like, but apparently that one was a particularly heightened and boisterous one, so it was fun to be part of. You know what? You gifted me this moment, Ruby Sunday. Is that even your name, by the way?
Hello.
I wrote Shriek, I wrote it as a four-legged kind of creeping animal. And so I lent into those kind of fears when I was a kid of the kind of the wolf and the dog-like creature. Basically, it's a monster that wants to tag you and hunt you and eat you. And that's really simple and really terrifying. You can't reason with it. You can't talk it out of a problem. It just wants to eat you. And that's a great monster to have in the show.
Gethin, who is in that costume, is just the most terrifying guy. Like the way he moves, obviously he's lovely in the flesh. We were genuinely terrified by him.
I think one of the great things about Doctor Who is there's lots of practical effects. Lots of it happens in camera and there are prosthetics, and it doesn't rely too heavily on VFX, and that's really great as an actor. When the Shriek is coming at you, it's very scary and you don't really need to act too much.
So weird to have like written him and he's standing here and he's actually quite terrifying.
More or less.
Those teeth.
Yeah. Oh, but like...
Amazing. What's it like in there? Are you warm?
Yeah, it's really good. Stop wearing a
The one
big
person who's
duvet.
warm. Yeah.
How's it going?
Oh, my creation. So you can see out through the throat, right?
Just about.
Okay.
It's very murky.
Yeah.
If you can't see my face, we open the mouth more.
Right.
And so I can see more.
What else do you control on that apart from the mouth?
So this joystick is the eyeballs. So you can see he's looking.
Oh wow!
So I can make him
Amazing.
look around, and I can make him blink
Yeah.
with this plunger, and then
Do you sniff?
Yeah, and to sniff, I can move the upper lip and the eyebrows.
Oh, so he can furrow his brow. That's really good.
To kind of.
Snarl and yeah.
So that's a sniff. Kind of tricky. It's like patting your head and rubbing your tummy.
Yeah,
you have to think
yeah,
about all
yeah.
the pieces together.
And we never really see you standing either. Usually you're kind of on all fours and lengthening your body as you kind of crawl, aren't you? Yeah. See, that is actually scarier, I think, when you're like that, because it's kind of dog-like. That is really quite terrifying. Okay, yeah.
He worked so hard in that suit, he could hardly see. Our wonderful movement coach, Paul Casey, was with him the whole time. Paul's been on the show forever, and it was very clear to me that what Paul had with those performers was a brilliant shorthand, and it was just easier to say, Paul, can we get this? And Paul would interpret it, so I wouldn't have to worry that either. It's like a sort of co-director in that role, really.
Okay, there we're going again.
See, there's another Shriek performer, and that was George. He was our stunt Shriek.
3, 2, 1, action!
We wanted something dramatic, so we ended up with George leaping over this wall in the village and then crawled at high speed at the top of this car. I love those simple moments where they're sort of mundane and the ordinary, and I think those sort of interactions make the kids excited.
So I'm wondering, how committed are you to the lies you've told?
I have a deep love for the Brigadier in the classic series, and that extends to Kate. I had the time to dig deeper into her character in this episode, and what I really wanted to do was challenge her on a very fundamental level and see how far she would go.
Where is the Doctor and his box of tricks?
Oh, you're so lucky he's not here.
She's telling the truth. And actually, I'm glad he's not here, because he would have stopped me.
Does she go too far? Would she have let Conrad die? He does actually get his arm ripped off. Is that her fault? Who is she answerable to? How lonely is she? How powerful is she? And actually, we love this, and I think it's something we're going to try and keep going with Kate whenever we see her now, and I hope we keep seeing her forever, because I love working with her.
The truth, Conrad! As requested!
So I think she gets pushed to the point almost of losing her loyalty to save any human being, regardless of how appalling and despicable and criminal they are or the dreadful things that they do. I think she gets pushed almost to the point of losing her loyalty to that principle. She doesn't, but I thought that was interesting and dark and a fascinating thing to explore and to play with.
Please stop it! You told us it's not real.
There's no question that she goes too far when she unleashes the Shriek. It's a calculated risk, but it's a very risky move. And it's the beginning of a story that has repercussions beyond this episode, beyond this season, even beyond this show.
Last night went way too far. Geneva.
Like you said, he'll live.
Who are you?
Oh, I'm the governor. And it's your lucky day.
What's it like playing Mrs. Flood, and what do you think's coming?
Well, it's a bit of a ride. I have no idea. And then I did think I had an idea at the end of the last series.
Yeah.
But it's all changing again. But thank you so much for giving me this outfit and character.
It's
so,
joy.
And I'd love to do more. I mean, I really quite like the prison.
I think there could be a spin-off show in this. Mrs. Flood running a prison. Let's just do it. We'll tell Russell. Get on the phone.
At the end of series 1, you kind of saw her reveal true villainy. She stood on that rooftop, not camply at all, in a white fur coat, revealing her villainous intent. And now that's continuing. Now she's mysteriously Belinda's neighbour as well. Clearly it's all heading somewhere. This is the year in which you find out, and the flood is unleashed.
Belinda, now! Russell told me about the premise before I read it, and then I read it, and I was like, this is just exceptional.
I'm really thrilled that we've done it, because to work with Inua is special.
I've been writing this for years in my head.
What I love is the way that he's tied in all of the different storytelling gods and the connection between gods and humans. Spinning a story out of that is amazing.
Black barbers, they're renowned for stories. So the fact that they've used this as the jumping off point is amazing.
Who's next?
To actually take all these concepts, the TARDIS and Belinda and the gods and the storytelling into Inua's world, has been a real privilege. Inua, the great joy of working with Inua Ellams. I went to the National, I saw his play, The Barbershop Chronicles, and I went to see that, and I loved that play. So I wanted to work with Inua. I thought that's a great mind. I couldn't stop thinking, what about the Doctor walked into that barbershop? It's one of the great joys of my life that we've made this work.
Come on, Doctor. Hey, told you he would come.
The stage play was called Barbershop Chronicles, and it's tangentially related to this, but none of the characters in that play are here. So these are all new characters with a little hint towards the world of my play. The only thing that exists in both as a connective tissue is the idea of telling stories, the idea of camaraderie and brotherhood between the men.
So you haven't come in years.
And standards have slipped. Damp and misty outside, dusty in here.
It's not me. New management. Welcome.
Like the fact that it's all based around stories and passing on stories, which is such a human thing to do, very, very African thing to do. Everything is about stories. And barber shops and salons are such important places in our culture and our community.
A great musician, Yo-Yo Ma,
was traveling through Botswana collecting local music.
I grew up in those kind of barbershops, you know what I mean? And my mother was a hairdresser. People, you know, they talk about their love lives, their history, their worries, their fears, their passions, you know. People just tell barbers and hairdressers everything.
For black cultures and black communities, it became a really safe space. And so to translate that and put a Doctor Who story into that world is really special and powerful, because every single black person's going to recognize that when they see it.
First day of episode 5, that was the market scene. And it was a perfect scene to do because it really set up the vibe as to what this episode was going to be like and how it was going to be on screen and off screen.
The Nigerian markets are so key to the lifeblood of Lagos that it made sense to start the story there.
Okay, stand by to shoot them, please. And action!
So marketplaces are jam-packed, and we really got that sense by having so many extras just to tighten the space. And when Belinda squeezes through, you understand what she's fighting against, what it is to be a Lagosian trying to buy anything in the market.
You got paid for this, though.
There's no money.
We're in Lagos, and it kind of feels like it too, because they've got the lights set up so it's like we're in a sunny market.
It is so authentic. Like I grew up in Lagos. The attention to detail is brilliant. It looks great, it feels great, and you kind of forget you're on a set sometimes. Yeah, it's really cool.
I love all of the sets in this episode, but the authenticity of that barbershop, the attention to detail, like with every set on the job, is just, it's incredible.
Oh, wow. If I wasn't a writer, I think I'd want to be a set designer, a prop maker. Just get into play and age things. How do they rust this? Oh my goodness. Well, I want to take this home with me. Just look at it.
So we had our episode 5 set was a composite set of Lagos over 2 stages. So in one stage, you had the entrance to the market, you walked all the way around the market, then you had the exterior of the barbershop, then you went out the back of the barbershop and you went to a different stage and you had the long corridor then that led us into the engine room. The most complex thing in that set was the tree in the brain. Personally, it just felt something very hard to get your head around. It had a lot of love given to it by Faye, the art director, Lux, who drew it up, and Barry and the team who made it.
Get away from my heart.
Got it. That was a fun day because it meant I was just back on the wires.
It's funny, it's sort of, as you get put into the harness, as you sort of start flying, the feeling just sort of comes, so you don't really need to act.
Okay, standing by, air on! 3, 2, 1, action!
On the day, we had these wires that were attached to harnesses that were underneath our costumes, and at the right moment it was called action, and all we had to do is do exactly what we'd rehearsed, and we allowed the wire operators to lift us up.
And it was quite challenging for them because they had to have good core muscles, but they were very forthcoming and allowed us to kind of do it over and over again. And I think it looks great. Whilst it brought some challenges, it wasn't as complex as I thought it was going to be. But maybe that's because the people that were helping us do it were so experienced that they made it look quite easy.
That felt good. That felt good.
I am sorry. I couldn't take you with me.
We were honoured to have our fugitive Doctor, Jo Martin, return to Doctor Who in a little cameo.
And pause again, thank you. Swap doctors, we swap shoulders, please. Any camera?
It was really nice having another Doctor on set. We didn't get to speak as much as we wanted to because the time gets very tight, but we checked in with each other and had that Doctor conversation that only Doctors can have, where we speak about the pressures of saving the universe.
We've got a story that's set in Lagos that's kind of honouring the ethnicity of our Doctor. So actually it felt like Jo Martin was missing. It's just time to acknowledge her And just time to say she still exists. It's also time to say that mythology still exists in a very mythological episode about lives of these men and the lives of the barber over these hundreds of years. You needed to look at the Doctor's life and you needed to acknowledge that. So just a moment. And she's so delighted to come to Cardiff and do it. So it's an honour.
And frankly, darling, I was busy in a different story. It might be finished one day.
John, let me out. Tell a story.
I wanted to create this character who basically at the beginning you think, oh, he's just an evil person.
I know vengeance, and I can taste his. It is bio-black and bitter. You are planning something.
For people who do very destructive things, a lot of it comes down to the personal injuries that they have in their life. So it was really interesting to see that played out in a character, and it was done so beautifully by Arian.
Don't let him get to you.
Who are you? I was the one behind them all. I wanted this guy who by the end crumbles into insignificance until he's given a name. And in the end he's given this name Aditumbo. And it's like, I am somebody now.
I don't deserve this kindness.
There's a moral to most African folk stories or folk tales. And the seed of this is to give credit where it's due.
You want to know who I am?
And the villain, quote unquote, the villain of our episode is a man who was never allowed to claim the credit for his own work, and that powers him. It's a story of fatherhood, about brotherhood, about an immigrant, about finding safe spaces, about stories, what they mean, who gets to tell them, and the connective tissue between that and primal humanity.
Thank you, Doctor.
I will be back for a haircut. And for that 6-word story. Good luck.
Welcome to the 803rd Interstellar Song Contest!
Juno is someone I've known for years. I've read her novels. I think she's a great talent. We've kind of been circling around each other for a long time.
One morning, I woke up and I had an email in my inbox saying, "Dear Juno, would you like to write an episode of Doctor Who?" And I've never replied so fast.
Juno is one of the biggest Doctor Who fans I think I've ever met. Her script seems to have all that pent-up ambition and love for Doctor Who.
Really amazing, really fizzing with lots of stuff. All wrapped up in a big glittery song contest.
Teeth. I'm so excited. I'm like a kid in a candy store. I've been the biggest Doctor Who fan since I can remember. So to actually be here, it's pretty much a dream come true, babe.
Now let me hear some noise!
It's a good reminder of the little kid inside of us. It's like, oh yes, you know, we're doing this. This is so fun.
This is one of my favourite briefs. My brief to Juno Dawson was the Eurovision Song Contest meets Die Hard.
At arms.
Nobody move, this gallery is mine. He'd had sort of an idea bubbling away in his head for a while. And then I think what he does is he kind of pairs ideas to writers that he thinks will be able to sort of take on that brief. And this is the dream brief. So he was spot on. He knows me really well. Me kind of starting my career in television, you know, I'm like just sort of soaking up as much wisdom as I can get. You know, initially from bringing my experience of Eurovision and mixing it with Die Hard. And you sort of think, well, if this is it, if this is my one chance to write Doctor Who, you know, there's so much I want to include.
She's injected like her sense of humor into it. The whole Eurovision thing, it's just so fabulous. And I feel like when I met her, it all kind of made sense. I love her. She's great.
I think it's a marvellously mad episode. We all expect like the songs and the extravaganza and the fun, but actually we took it very seriously and then unexpectedly goes into very dark territory with the Hellions and the history of Hellia.
My planet was invaded for honey flavoring. They took the seeds and burnt the fields so we could never grow back.
So it's turned out to be a lot more complex and a lot darker and also a lot more fun than we ever imagined. It's actually one of my favourite episodes of all. It's the one episode when I've got a bit of time off and I should relax and I think, oh, I'll just watch that episode, and I put that one on. I love it.
Wait, what happened?
Oh, you came back from the dead.
Sums up my career.
When I first read the script, I thought it was going to be so much fun, and it was. Even just like on a normal day when you come out of the trailer to go into hair and makeup or something and you see just a team of aliens walking by, just don't know, these like really eccentric costumes.
All the prosthetics, they're great actually. They're very light. It takes 3 hours to put all this on, an hour and a half to take it off. Yeah.
And you look amazing.
We both look amazing.
Yeah.
So we went back through a bit of our back catalogue and found things that we could adapt and modify. And then we sculpted some specific for that scene. We were looking for lots of new, interesting kind of painting patterns. We had a couple of artists do some concepts, and there was stuff I was looking at going, that's nuts, I'd never do that. Brilliant, we'll have it. You get the thing between masks and prosthetics. Prosthetics take time, you've got to glue it on, blend it in. There's all that kind of work, and it usually takes several hours in the morning to get someone ready. A mask, you can mostly just pull on, take off, pull on, take off. And a mask you can use lots of days. A prosthetic, you do a new one every day. Economically, masks are great, but they limit a little bit in what you can do. We had a mixture of prosthetics and masks so that you never just felt you were looking at a bunch of masks, but also there was stuff that was a lot bigger and brighter and more extreme than you can get with a prosthetic.
This whole shoot has been a bit crazy, you know, looking at myself is already a shock every time. So, you know, this is part of this crazy industry we're in, you know, every day is very different, but here it's like next level, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, everybody's like really like smiling at me, doing little signs. Sometimes I hear a, you know, like meow. I'm like, what? Oh yes, I'm a cat. Yeah, that's why they do that. You know, having a real crowd here, they're very brave. You know, they have masks and stuff all day long, and you know, I could feel they're very excited to be working on the project as well. I think it helps the imagination. It's really good.
There's a couple of pigs that make me laugh, and they remind me of the pig from the episode where the Slitheen land on Downing Street and then the pig starts running around and they actually look like that pig. So I'm getting like major flashback vibes to Doctor Who, but there's some amazing outfits.
It's designed to be one of the biggest visuals we've ever done. I literally came to our production team and said I wanted to be the Interstellar Song Contest with thousands of people. I don't think there's any monsters that we've seen in Doctor Who before, but that's what it's like on this western arm of the galaxy spiral. All new creatures. A lot of them have got names. You could write in and give us names.
Guys, extras, ever! You really should stop, babes.
Or what?
Or you'll regret it. Because I have met so many versions of you, kid, and revenge is just an excuse. Because your cold, filthy heart just likes to kill.
You always want to push the Doctor further. You always want to give Ncuti stuff to do that he hasn't done before. You always want to stretch the material. And we've seen Ncuti be angry and do that kind of stuff, but I said, right, you've done angry, let's go even angrier.
How many people did you want to kill? 3 trillion? How about we try this 3 trillion times? Hmm?
You know, when I was like in the first draft, I was like, I wonder how far I can go with this. You know, and I wonder how damaged or dangerous I can make the Doctor. And what was wonderful, I remember the first meeting when we talked about the first draft, Russell was like, go further.
A hologram can hurt.
That old ancient general that's trapped inside him becomes like an executioner. He's going too far. The point of it is, he's been frozen. He's going very close to death, and that would have been like an eternal death frozen. He could have regenerated 100 times out there in space. He would just died in the end. So it's very close to death. He has visions of his granddaughter.
Go back. Grandfather, go back.
So he comes back to life with a real vengeance, which is very undoctor-like.
So he comes to face with his own mortality, which does a funny thing to him, sends him to a really dark place. And that compassion that he has for all lives is not there when he meets Kid.
And it's kind of one of those moments where the Doctor needs the companion, he needs Belinda, he needs Belinda to walk through that door, to normalise him, to bring him back, to get that balance back. But as the Doctor says, that chip of ice is still in his heart, and I like that. It just gives you a Doctor that's capable of anything.
Believe me, that ice that you put in my heart, I think it's still there. I think it'll be there forever now. So you take care.
I saw you cross the astral ports. My sensibilities went
when we heard her sing the Goblin song, and she was so committed and had so much fun doing it.
Baby, we can feast. We can die in 3 days at least.
Russ was like, we need to use her again. So when Liz Lizardine came into existence, it was a very, very easy decision for us to actually get her on screen this time.
Oh, it's amazing. Thank you so much.
No, it's so
You're
good
having
for
fun.
you.
We're looking after you well.
Yeah, song's fabulous as well.
Are you actually in the show
Big
now?
moment.
And you can be in the show again because
Yeah.
we
Well, no
wouldn't
one
know
knows
you.
me.
I could walk past you
Exactly.
outside now.
Yeah.
What a laugh. And you've got to keep a secret for ages now.
I know.
Oh, my God. You're getting the
me.
full Doctor Who treatment, aren't you?
I was like, on day one, just throw me straight in. I was like, whatever you want to do,
Come
just
on.
do it.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Love you, but my heart says no. It beats a rhythm slow.
It's definitely been one of the best experiences I've ever had in my career. Doing something like this is completely unique to the kind of work that I do, and so being able to experience that was probably like a once in a lifetime opportunity, really.
No, said my heart, don't you dare. I love you, baby, it isn't fair.
Let battle begin. We've bi-generated. Evidently.
I play the role of the Rani, and my name is Archie Punjabi.
Our name is the Rani. Although she's become a Rani, I'm the Rani. The definite article, so to speak.
Bi-generation is a very bizarre thing, but it was quite a fun experience.
Look at the cross, and then you pull and out and take your eye line there.
And action.
Sorry.
It's a really complicated effect to have someone move out of somebody else. But thankfully, we just had to look at the special where Shooty bi-generated out of David Tennant. We were able to kind of stand on the shoulders of the people who've done it before. We were even able to use the steel hip support that the actor gets strapped into, so they lean, but in a way that preserves their lower body position. So it's really important for bi-generation that you don't diverge too much from the sort of hero hip point. And so we used the same rig that Shooty and David had used.
Oh, must we? How inelegant.
Ever so sorry, ma'am. It was amazing because having seen the one with David and Shooty, you think, wow, I'm actually going to do that. Of course, it's incredibly technical once you get there, and mostly you're kind of moving a little bit here, a little bit there.
We've got markers down for you. We're going to start at Archie's end, and it's the must we, how inelegant. So what we're going to do after action is the hand up like that. You notice her, must we, how inelegant, and then roll your shoulder out as if you're about to pop.
So it gives the illusion that we're joint at the hip, and within a couple of seconds we just kind of pop, so we separate and jump out and look at each other. It's a very strange experience, but a fun one.
Well, everybody was saying this is going to be fantastic, this double act, and you always think, oh, don't say that, because if it doesn't work, then you feel so upset and disappointed and we'll have let you down. From the minute she walked onto the set, I fell in love with her, really, and I have such respect and admiration for her work. Watching her work has been awesome. She's a real, true talent and a delightful woman to be around. I'm very happy to say we have bonded literally at the hip.
I mean, yes, she's a time lady. Yes, she is the Rani. And yes, she's bi-generated. And now she's Mrs. Flood and Archie Punjabi as the Rani. Which actually is a very old Doctor Who villain who's never been brought back since the show came back in 2005. She's kind of been waiting in the wings, and the time has come, really.
As for the Doctor, oh, I will bring him absolute terror.
That's what I said.
Shut up. Yes, ma'am.
Mrs. Flood is bi-generated. She is the Rani.
The great work begins.
Action!
The Rani, she's got a grand, dangerous scheme that she's masterminding.
There she blows!
From the minute she walked onto the set, I fell in love with her, really.
It's intense, heartbreaking.
I gotta go. I miss you.
The Doctor always has a tough time in a series finale fighting one enemy. So this time I wanted 3.
All the world below is a world I have wished.
How can he possibly defeat all of them? John Smith and Belinda are the happiest married couple in the world. They have a beautiful daughter called Poppy. He goes to work, and traditionally she stays at home and does all the cooking and chats to her mother in the kitchen all day long. It is, of course, a really strangely traditional, and when I say traditional, I mean bordering on wrong, pattern of behaviour, something that's a little bit 50s. There's echoes of 50s design in it. It's a partly remembered and a partly invented world. It's all from Conrad's mind.
The process of getting into the mindset for John Smith was so interesting and quite jarring as well, because I've been so used to the energy of like, come into a space and take charge and take command. No! But John is so not that. He's such a normal human in a very sterilized, stifled world.
Aren't they beautiful? I ask you, how can anyone doubt this glorious world that we live in?
It's all hanging on by a thread. It's not real, and it's desperately rattling at the edges.
And there's like something inside him that's battling to break out. And you see that when he sees Rogue.
Doctor, can you hear me? I haven't got much time.
And then there's something inside of him that's like comes alive, that's desperate to break out.
I can only send you one warning, and this is gonna sound strange, but listen to me. Tables don't do that.
From working with Jonathan last year, I remember he was like, God, I just finished and they asked me to shoot this like thing where I talk about tables and I don't know what they were talking about. And I was like, yeah, how weird. I imagine somewhere in the future, Rogue might pop up. Cut to read through of episode 7, and there he is. Such a lovely surprise.
Oh my God, you've got our reaction, haven't you? I was beside myself.
On screen, there's a man, a stranger, talking directly to John Smith and cue Rogue.
Doctor, can you hear me? I haven't got much time. They're coming.
No, stop this.
Remember, tables don't do that.
It was so fun watching it. I love Jonathan Groff, and he beams beautiful energy.
I gotta go. I miss you. Well, more than that. I love you.
Jonathan, Belinda's missed all this. She's asleep in bed.
You're not the midwife.
My name is Frau Rani. Am I too late?
The end of the Intergalactic Song Contest, we see the bi-generation where we realise, as I think a lot of people have guessed, that Mrs. Flood is the Rani, the old enemy of the Doctor.
We are both the Rani.
Now it's like the mistress has arrived. So the Rani is there, which is Archie Punjabi in full flow.
My name is the Rani.
A little sense of trepidation, because she's a character that, you know, has been so eagerly awaited. But then when I read it, I thought, no, I think I can find a voice for this. She looks like fun.
I love saying this bit. Your husband is an alien, and so am I.
Well, obviously, Kate O'Mara is a magnificent actress, and I watched her to just capture an essence of her. But obviously, it's 40 years ago, and I wanted to put my own spin on it, but at the same time, do a little nod to Kate.
I can't let you in. I don't trust you for a single second.
Archie's Rani is definitely in charge.
Now.
And they've got such a funny dynamic.
Excellent. Seek and ye shall find. Sandwich, obviously. Oh, right.
And she does it looking fabulous as well. I mean, God, that outfit that Mrs. Flood had, and it was just fabulous. I was like, you are just such a fabulous baddie.
Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Can I cut your toenails, ma'am?
I love working with Anita. As soon as I met Anita, I think both of us just instantly clicked. It is very beneficial because I think there was a natural chemistry and we both got each other. We both have very similar sense of humours and a very mischievous streak, so we had great fun on the show.
I mean, she's my other half, my better half.
Oh, no.
Yes. She's brilliant. She's amazing.
The Rani and the Rani. Well, I'm the Rani. She's Mrs. Flood. Let's get that clear.
How's the doctor? Getting there. Doubts at 30%.
So this is one of my favourite things in this season. This is the Rani Sonic. So after having done David's 60th Sonic and Shooty's 15th Doctor Sonic in all the various colours, the idea was to make something a bit more medical looking, seeing as the Rani is scientist. So that's why it has like the white enamel, syringe-like look to it. And then, to add a nod to Kate O'Mara's character back in the 80s, I contacted the guys at the archive to send me some photos of the costume that they have in storage there. And I lifted the pattern off of the costume and incorporated it in the grip there. And at the tip, it is shaped like a deadly nightshade, which is like beautiful and deadly. This one also lights up quite nicely.
So, we're gonna go into stage 3, but they are filming in there right now, so we have to be very quiet. Sorry. So, this was actually the robo chamber, but they've completely transformed it into the Bone Palace.
Set and action.
Happy May the 24th.
You might be able to see the general shape of the robo chamber, but they've completely turned it on its head. I like that they reuse stuff, recycle. I mean, it's absolutely stunning. I mean, the way that it's completely transformed from the robo chamber as well is just...
Shh, don't announce that. It's a secret.
This is stage 1 unit.
Defensive positions.
I mean, the attention to detail is just incredible. And there's the London skyline. But yeah, I've actually only seen it in its the Wish World form.
Happy morning.
Happy morning.
Let's have a look at John and Belinda's bedroom. There's all the, again, like the little lived-in features of, having your baby's photo and a dressing table.
Oh, this is nice.
And the lights don't work because it's not a real room. We've got our little garden set up. This is our kitchen. And there's something eerie about coming into spaces like this when it feels very much like a house, but there's like bits and pieces on the floor and this, I don't know, I just always think it's a bit creepy, like I've stepped into someone's kitchen. So we filmed with Sienna here the whole breakfast sequence, and she's just a delight. It's so much fun to act opposite a baby because they're so in the moment and you can see them engage with you, but also it's like if you're trying to get them to interact with you, but they've got no idea what's going on. It's like a challenge in trying to get her to say no. No! No! It's a lot of fun and it's so unpredictable. It keeps you on your toes.
Look at the city.
Farewell to London!
We've got a long sequence at the end of episode 7 where the world slips into the Whoniverse, and we wanted to involve each of our main characters in that. So you've got Shirley, Ruby, and you've got our new character Winnie in the middle of the city, so we've got the city slipping around them. We've got the Doctor falling on his balcony as behind them the city slips away. You've got Poppy and her grandma in the kitchen as that slips away. But we've also got Bonnie Langford's character Mel in the middle of the street as the buildings collapse around her. This was our chance to kind of go around her with a 360-degree track.
So we have the camera dolly, which is literally going to be keeping her center of frame. Then you have the green screen behind her with all the lights rigged around it. So they're going to be moving simultaneously.
So they're both sort of travelling in conjunction, opposite one another all the way through, to the speed of where I'm looking. It's fun. I didn't know I was going to be doing this. It was all quite new, so it's quite nice.
Action, Bonnie.
The reason we did that was to keep the lighting levels absolutely the same on the green screen, so being able to separate her from the background would be easier for us to do. But given that, it got the setup of the week. Bobby and Ken, our 2 grips. Fantastic work.
You wish this world into existence, and then you kill it. Why are you doing this?
The Doctor actually cares about the planet. The Rani's primary motivation is scientific experimentation. It doesn't matter who dies.
Deep within the Underverse, he is hidden, the one who is lost.
You discover at the end of the episode the Rani wanting to create a reality that wears thin, that starts to fall apart, that's her plan to break the world apart and to reach the world underneath.
Tell me who you are looking for.
Omega.
Long live Omega.
It was always the plan to do this amount of seasons.
Into the vortex.
Because it's a role that demands a lot of you physically and emotionally and mentally. The actors playing the Doctor are only actors playing the Doctor. Unfortunately, we are mere mortals. I would love to have the energy and the youth to be able to do this full time for the rest of my life, but my knees are telling me it's time. It's felt lovely, the final couple of weeks. It's felt like the right timing and the right energy, and yeah, it's felt melancholic and bittersweet. It's a magical role that will demand a lot from you, but if you give a lot to it, it will give you a lot back. It was a real pleasure and honor.
Good afternoon, everyone. We've been joined by a face familiar to all of us, of course, Jenny Whittaker, everybody!
I'm like an excited child. I feel so hyperactive and I feel completely in my skin because I've got my costume on and it still fits, thank God. You've redecorated. I don't like it. Does it really need to be bigger? And everything just feels at home, but wonderfully different as well. Like, you are in someone else's TARDIS and you're in someone else's environment in the presence of the Doctor. You know, it's all a bit timey-wimey. Is that still a thing?
Going strong.
To be a part of a regen, literally together, is so special, because I didn't get to do it with David and I didn't get to do it with Peter either. It's all done in the magic of television. Goodbye, Doctor.
Goodbye, Doctor.
Welcome to the Time Hotel. If you'd like to come with me, sir.
I've got to say, thank you, Stephen Moffat, for the creation of Anita and the Time Hotel. I always had that balcony ending falling to the Doctor's death in mind for years. And I was always thinking, how does he get out of that?
Anita! Hello, Doctor.
Oh! But then Stephen comes along and invents a character who has magic doors with a magic key. And I was like, well, that is the simplest solution.
And action.
I've just seen a Dalek, an actual Dalek. I thought it was just archive footage. I didn't know I was actually going to see a Dalek until today. So I am full of joy.
Okay, so one of the greatest things ever is to work with a Dalek. Russell had written, Anita opens the door and finds herself seeing John Pertwee in the Day of the Daleks from 1973. So we have a little flashback and I said, well, can we maybe have a Dalek in the foreground to tie it all together? And everyone said yes.
I'm so chuffed. Steph is actually chuffed. There's a real person in the Dalek, Simon. It's amazing.
That's it. That's my one experience with a Dalek, but it's a childhood dream come true.
Hiya.
99999969996. The Seekers are mysterious creatures. Irani actually has a tradition in the old days of having kind of slaves and servants. So these are kind of creatures in thrall to her. And they're at work.
Action.
997776.
They looked like extraterrestrial, creepy opticians, but I really like their fashion.
And that's going to be next year's Halloween costume because it is just spectacular. My favourite part is their fingers are covered in latex.
So holding this position for quite a long time can be quite tiring on the arms. It's quite an interesting little feel, actually, because the board that we've got our fingers all plugged into does look really, really cool. Like, we are sort of dipping our fingers into oil. It does look amazing.
Excellent. Seek and ye shall find.
The process of getting all of this put on is about 2.5 hours, I'd say, just for the prosthetics itself. And then we've got costume, which is another half an hour to get into this thing.
The headpiece for the Seekers, and it's based on the opticians for Opters, and yeah, we sort of took that sort of concept and tried to make it a bit more alien and sort of a bit more of a real feel to it. A lot of 3D printing went into it, yeah, concept designs. The reason we chose to do that is to keep it lightweight. It's going to be on the performer's head all day, so we just chose to 3D print the whole thing.
It's really cool when it moves.
Today's the final day. And yeah, it's going to be really sad when it's over because it's been such a fun experience, but definitely something I'd like to do again, I think.
If we die here today, I love you lot.
Just shut up and go!
It was very fun to shoot. I felt like the Green Goblin. And it looks epic and incredible. Flying through a bone beast skeleton, whereas actually I'm just in a green room. Hopped on a gizmo that was controlled by a man called Phil. That sat to my right. And it was cool, one of those like action hero-y moments.
I summon you, creator of the Time Lord.
I needed something to be the ultimate experiment for the Rani. She's very much more of an old school Time Lord and missing the Time Lord. As the ultimate experiment for breaking open the world and finding out what's underneath, that story just naturally turned to the legacy of Doctor Who, which is the oldest and greatest Time Lord of all, is Omega.
Omega, creator of the Time Lords. Now, how to bring him home.
The arrival of Omega is one of the greatest stories ever. A creature held together only by will. He's been banished, he's been exiled, he's been in a different dimension, and that willpower has now turned insane.
I will become the god of time, with Time Lords to feast upon.
Well, we have to get the scale of it right. Once you've worked out the scale, it means that we have to stick with that, which means we have to use the camera angles and the lenses we've already agreed, so that when it's all put together, yes, he will appear 30 foot tall. I really wanted a big surprise. So there's the Omega looming over everyone. Archie's character, the Rani, thinks she's going to best him with her sonic screwdriver, and just very suddenly he grabs her. And we have a very practical thing to do. We've got to grab an actor, we've got to hoist her up in the air. Very, very difficult to do with an actor because she's not a stunt performer.
I think the first time they put me on the wires, I was a little bit, oh my God, what's happening? And then I was like flying, it was amazing.
Travelling, spinning and rising.
We arrived at the idea that actually he's going to lower her like an olive into his mouth and then just drop her in, which you always want to see when you're going to get rid of a villain. You want to see that look of realisation that, oh my God, I'm going to die. And Archie was absolutely up for it.
We're on set today and it's Varida's last day. I love her spirit. I love ending her journey showing why she had a reason all that time for wanting to get home, which she didn't even know herself. She's been gorgeous, and just to be on set with Varida every day has been lovely.
Because that was the point. All this time, I had to be here, in this house, at 7:30 a.m. on the 24th of May. Remember? Never mind, Miami. Poppy's waiting for me. I can't wait for you to meet Poppy. The whole time, Belinda's just wanted to get back home, but not get back home to Poppy, for Poppy.
Oh.
Isn't she beautiful?
The best. How could I forget?
Once you're with your baby, it's like you're not gonna get back in the TARDIS, and you can't take your baby with you because you're putting her in harm's way. So it's quite sad, but it's also like a totally fulfilling, natural way to end for her as a mother. It's, you know, this is your adventure. This is life. This is more than life.
Well, we know he's human by birth. We just don't know where in time and space he's from.
Oh,
Do we?
he's a foundling, just like me.
Like me?
Ruby's journey has been waiting for this. It's like when you come full circle at the end of the episode, there she is with another member of her family. She started out looking for her own family, and now there they are, fostering, and well, adopting yet another child, Ruby's brother, so she's no longer alone in the world.
Joseph was my late husband's name.
Joe Sunday.
Joe Sunday.
I think Ruby's chilling with her band. You know, she needs to get back on that keyboard. I think she's cracking on with her two mums and a nan. She needs to spend more time with them. And she might have a job at unit. Who knows? Everyone does, so may as well be there as well.
Her name is Poppy, and she's lost somewhere out there.
Doctor, one life has disappeared. And you know this can happen. You know this better than anyone because it's happened before. It happened to me.
It's all part of the journey that you've seen with the Lucky Day episode of Ruby becoming more independent, freeing up Ruby to be her own woman, to lead her own stories. And the glorious thing about this story is that you get to the finale is that she's the only person who knows what's going on because she went through the events of 73 Yards. I love this. I think it's like Ruby's waited her time and now kind of flowers into this power because she's the only one who knows.
One person is missing. Time has shifted by 1 degree. By the tiniest little degree. There is no technology in the universe that can change that. There is only one thing that is strong enough to change reality 1 tiny degree.
Which is what?
The last of the Time Lords.
It's a great, big, super spectacular regeneration. It draws every single plot together. Almost every element of his life comes to play. Belinda's there, Ruby's there, Unit is there, so everything comes to a climax.
Just feels so natural for the way that Russell's written it, and it all has flowed together so perfectly.
Oh man, I like this face.
We've been hearing the beats of the console for 60 years, and 2 of those were my TARDIS's ones. You're joining a legacy that will live on forever. It's nothing short of an honor. It feels amazing to be part of that canon.
Let's be honest. I was the best.
It was only in my sort of final scenes here in the walkway towards the TARDIS door. And just before that take, I spent a beat just looking at the console. And then all the images of consoles prior, in all the TARDISes prior, were flashing in my mind. Wow, this was... what a moment, and what a job, and what a role. It was beautiful to do.
And cut, perfect.
The casting crew here have been amazing. It's been an amazing time with cast and crew. I've been very blessed to work with 2 incredibly talented actors, Millie and V, and they are dear friends and will stay my friends for a long time. It was magical to go on this adventure with them. They are so talented and so beautiful and so clever, and it was, we kept each other laughing all the time.
He is inherently such a special person, and I think he really brings that sparkle to the Doctor, which, the Doctor is just the sparkliest of people in the world. I think that's what they're going to remember. They're going to remember that energy. They're going to remember that sort of live wire kind of, there's nothing he can't do.
There are no words. There are no words. I have no words for this experience, but just thank you, everyone.
He's been an incredible Doctor, and he is an incredible person, an incredible actor. His energy will be missed. I know that for a fact. I'll miss spending every day with him.
Thank you, Whovians, for everything. All the love that you pour into the show itself is what makes it, is what has kept it alive for 60 years. I thank you so much for embracing me with all the warmth and love that you did. I won't forget that at all. The way that I was held by the Whovians. And so just all the love in the world. Maybe see you again. Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Doctor Who YouTube channel.